Hey everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Holly, and I'm back again to film another video, give you a little more information. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible because I already filmed this and it was like 40 minutes. So I decided I'm going to break it down into two different videos. And what this is about is this is kind of I was trying to like clean up in my basket that I call like my makeup graveyard. Some things get revived out of there, so they're not all things that I don't like or all things that are like almost used up, but some things that go in there are just things that I tried and I tried and I tried with, and they just didn't work for me at all. So I wanted to kind of talk to you about some of those things because some of them are going to be like, hey, go spend your money on this because they work and they're tried and true, great products that I've used, basically that I've used up. Other things are going to be, don't waste your money because there are better things out there, or it's just so-so. So I just wanted to kind of give you all a little information on these products as far as I'm concerned. If you love these things, you keep loving these things because all people are different. All people like different makeup. Something I love and adore might be your least favorite thing in the world. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to do just primers, setting sprays, concealers, foundations, powders, and blushes in this one. And then I'm going to get into the eyes one in part 2, the second video. So let's get started because we have a lot of things to talk about. The first thing is a primer that I did not like and that I will not be repurchasing. And that is the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. This packaging is so cool. It's like, I don't know if you can see it still, because there's a very little tiny bit, but it's like a soft pink in color. This is, I know it has to have silicone in it, but I can't read the instructions, or not the instructions, the ingredient list on it anymore. And silicone and dimethicone are typically really, really great ingredients to put in a primer if you want it to be more like of a blurring, smoothing primer. And so I would have thought that this would have worked well, especially touting the name Optical Illusion, but it gave no illusion whatsoever. It did nothing. It was like putting nothing on my face. I spent a lot of money on it, so I used it all out of principle. Will never buy it again. I like Urban Decay. I have a lot of their products, but this is not one I will be repurchasing. The next one is the e.l.f. primer. I have no idea what specific kind of primer that this is as far as within their line because there's no other markings or indications on it. It just says lit from within. That's I don't know what that even means. I mean, you would think that would mean that it was like an illuminizing primer that you put on, but I found that this gave me no illumination. I've used it almost all gone. This thing is really, really like empty, but I'm going to use the last little bit of this in doing a foundation review that I'm working on right now. I'm sorry, I'm getting sick. Both of my kids were sick this week. But I do like this, and I feel like it has a little bit more of a tacky finish. That's why I like to use it when trying out new products, because some products play better with others, and it might be a foundation that needs a tackier primer. So I find that as this starts to dry down, it gets a little bit tacky. So this is good for that, and it smells so awesome. It's just like a lilac-y floral scent. It's nice. So I do recommend it if you can find it, because I don't know specifically which one that is exactly, but it was cool. The next thing is a setting spray. It's the Milani Make It Last setting spray. It is almost, there's like maybe a drop in there. 3-in-1 primes, corrects and sets, lightweight spray, locks in makeup up to 16 hours, keeps colors from fading and settling into creases. I really, really liked this. I actually bought this before I heard any of the beauty gurus on YouTube talking about it, and I was already liking it. And then I've heard people talking about it since. I just bought it because I enjoy Milani as a brand altogether. And so I needed a setting spray. I saw it there. I was like, I like like a lot of Milani's products, so I'll probably like this one too. So that's why I purchased it. It's cool. It is a water-based primer, and it has alcohol in it also. So it's not primer, setting spray. So it's not going to be that oily if it's water and alcohol instead of any kind of oils. So this was good for me. It worked. It pretty much lived up to what it said it was going to. I don't know about the 16-hour thing, but would recommend purchasing, and I will repurchase it again. I'm just really enjoying the Urban Decay All-Nighter that I'm using right now. Okay, next are concealers. No, we're going to do foundations next. Sorry. The first one up is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. I have purchased 3 or 4 of these bottles, trying to find my right shade. None of them were my right shade. This looks almost orange. This is a cult favorite. People swear by this. They say it's full coverage. It's awesome. It works great for them. Beauty gurus rave and rave and rave about this on YouTube. It just didn't work for me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong or what's up, or maybe it's my skin type. I don't know, but I'm going to hold on to this and use it when I get a little more color in the spring and summertime, because like I said, it does pull kind of orange, and so I'm going to try to use it when I have more of a tan. And we'll say that the jury is still a little bit out on it. Mostly I say no. It's like $12 or $13, I think, too. And so, bleh, no, didn't like it. This one is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Soft Beige is the color I have. This is another one that's a cult favorite. If you Google or not Google, but search on YouTube, Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation reviews, you won't find very many people saying negative things about this. But for me, it was streaky. It didn't matter what method I used to apply it, brush or beauty sponge. It was extremely streaky. It is light coverage, if anything. The reason Wet n Wild put this out is because in photographs, it doesn't have any flashback. If you're a person who gets photographed all the time, then you might specifically need this, so it would be worth it to kind of build it up or whatever you may need to do with it. But the paparazzi aren't coming from me. So this is just not really necessary for me. It's inexpensive. It's like $5 or $6, so that's cool. It has like a little paddle for applying it, but this shade was a little light for me too. I just picked it up in a pinch, but I did mix it in with some foundations and it worked okay with that, but at times it would leave it looking cakey when I mix this in with other things. So would I repurchase? Most likely not, unless I start going for lighter coverage, which I don't see that happening anytime soon. Okay, the next one is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. This is another drugstore cult favorite. I enjoyed this. It was just fine. I don't like that it doesn't have a pump, but it did work for me. This one is almost empty. I'm making a pledge to go ahead and finish using it just because I did like it. I've just found kind of my holy grail foundation from the drugstore, so this didn't perform quite as well for me. It says it mattifies and refines pores, matches natural tone, natural seamless finish. Those are the things it says. It does okay. I didn't notice it making a huge difference on my pores, but it's definitely a matte foundation, and it's cool. No issues with it. Just it's not my favorite. So I would recommend going out and buying it if you're looking to try something new. The next drugstore one is my Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation Concealer. You can see this is basically empty. This is my favorite foundation. I was looking at it and I have all kinds of shade ranges within, you know, kind of a little category of shades. And they've all worked for me, whether it be different times of the year, whether my skin's darker or lighter, or just I needed something a little more warm or a little more neutral, and they all really kind of worked okay. I love this. This says it's medium to full coverage, lightweight, oil-free formula, long-wearing, water-resistant, and sweat-proof. This is a sweat-proof product. I drove to work with no air conditioning every day in the humid summer heat in Kentucky, where you walk outside and you sweat instantly. And what this did for me is in the areas where you kind of naturally sweat, so your forehead or your upper lip, it beads. The sweat literally just comes into little beads that you can just kind of whisk away, and it's as if you were never sweating. None of the product moved around. This is freaking awesome. I can't say enough good things about this foundation. If you like a medium to full coverage, don't even waste your time with any of the other ones, because this is where it's at. And these cater to darker skin tones also. They have lighter skin tones, and they've released more shades where they're even more inclusive of super fair, like almost porcelain skinned people. But they do include darker shade ranges for people of color or people with darker skin tones. So this is just... it's great, and it's like $8 to $10. So if you're looking for a new foundation and you're kind of wavering, but you want medium to full coverage, get it. And you're especially going to love it in the summertime because it's sweat-proof. Okay, my last one is the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. I think this runs between $36 and $40. This is, I think, the fourth one that I bought. Let me see if it says, oh, medium neutral, number 59. One thing that's cool is this has a lot of shades. That's cool. This is definitely full coverage. I mean, to the point where you feel almost like you're caking it on. This was my first high-end foundation I ever bought when I first started getting into makeup. So it has a special place in my heart. I really enjoy the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. It is a fantastic concealer, without a doubt. However, this doesn't perform as well as I would like it to. And after trying the Milani, I completely abandoned this, brand new in the box. Didn't use it for like 2 months with it in the box sealed. Knowing what I know now, I would have returned it, but I kept it and started using it one day again when I was out of the Milani. You can see it's about half gone. And then I went out in the sun, in the heat, and that natural light, and it just showed every imperfection. I could see where I was breaking up here in my smile lines, breaking up horribly on my nose where I get more oily. So this is now a hard no for me. If you love it, good for you. Keep using it. If it's working, it's working. But I just like the Milani better. And I will try to use the rest of this product maybe at night if I'm going somewhere, so the natural light isn't showing everything that's going on. But this I would not repurchase. Cool packaging, but would not repurchase. Okay, now on to concealers. You know I have my favorite concealer, the Tarte Shape Tape. I like Kat Von D Lock-It, as I just said. The NARS Radiant and Creamy Concealer are good. Those are all going to run you in the 20s range. NARS concealer is 30 even. I like all of those. They all perform well. They're all full coverage. They all last. They don't break down at all. So I was out of my Shape Tape and wanted to get something more affordable in between time till I could make it to Ulta. So if I didn't like it, it wasn't any really big loss. I bought this Hard Candy Glamouflage. It is like $4 for this tube. I've used about half the tube, but this is a hard no for me. I will not repurchase because it is so greasy. Like as my skin would start to produce any natural oil at all, it was like this product was slipping off my face, just patchy, terrible. So if you're very dry skinned, you might enjoy this. You might enjoy this in the winter time, even if you tend to have normal to oily combination skin. But this is a hard no for me. I heard the same about the foundation, extra greasy, didn't last. So no. The last one is the CoverGirl concealer stick. This is in the shade medium. It is totally empty. I mean, I scraped this thing out. I shared in my video, I think my face makeup video, that I used to use this as a foundation all over my face. It's about $5 and change for a tube of this. It is a nice drugstore concealer. I used it for the foundation because I used to have really bad breakouts all over my face. Now they just kind of tend to stay in this area. And this was the coverage that I needed. It's not a bad product. I don't really have anything to say negatively about it. But A, I don't need that kind of coverage. B, I like to use a foundation more for what it's for and use a concealer to illuminate and highlight in addition to covering up dark circles or any blemishes and imperfections. So I've just kind of outgrown this, I guess I would say. But it did work for me in the time that I needed it to. Next, powders. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless powder. It's in the shade 222 True Beige. This says it's for normal to oily skin. This is a pressed powder. it did nothing to control my oil. Not a fan of it. It has a mirror, which is cool, and it had a little powder puff type of thing for applying it. I tried using the puff it came with. I tried using a brush. I tried using a beauty sponge, and it did not control my oil. Would not recommend buying. However, it's kind of funny because the next product is also a Fit Me powder, and this is the loose finishing powder, and I love it. This is also becoming a cult favorite among beauty gurus on YouTube. That's the reason I bought this and tried it after I didn't like the pressed powder. I would never have bought this without hearing several people recommend it. My problem is I got the shade Light, and it's too dark for a setting powder, especially under the eyes. You don't want to darken back up what you just lightened up with a concealer. So I'm holding on to this. It's really nice packaging, really nice packaging. I'm holding on to it because I'm thinking in the summertime I might be able to use it when I'm more tan, but I am going to pick it up in a fair or a translucent shade. I'm just not sure if they have a translucent shade, but yeah, this is a good powder. It really controls the oil. It works really nicely. It's extremely affordable. It's like $10 or less, I've got to say. So it's good, but it's just too dark for me at the moment. But I do highly recommend it. The last one is the Clinique Loose Face Powder. This says blended face powder. It came with a brush. This is in the shade 04 Transparency. Clinique is cool because it's 100% fragrance-free and allergy-free. I know my grandmommy struggled with migraines really badly when I was a kid and probably prior to that. And Clinique was really kind of the only thing that she could use because it didn't have any fragrances in it and wouldn't give her a really bad headache, sick to her stomach type of thing. I don't know if you can see, but this thing is basically empty. I think I paid around $20 for it. This is a really nice loose powder to put all over your face after you've set your makeup. It's really, really nice. Sorry, I'm just noticing this foundation I'm doing a review on in combination with the primer that I'm using. Okay, going back to it. I just don't set my whole or put a loose powder all over my whole entire face in the winter because I am more dry. I'm in a more dry climate now. So I just don't need this product at the moment. But if I find myself needing an all over face powder, again, come summertime, then I would repurchase this. Next are blushes. The first one is the Maybelline Fit Me blush. This is the shade 104 Light Pink. This just didn't show up very well. I did use it, you can see. We're in full-blown pan on it. It's affordable, it worked okay, but maybe I would get a darker color if I ever were to repurchase this, but I probably won't because I found blushes that I like better at the drugstore. Speaking of blushes I liked better, this is the Milani Powder Blush. This one I bought a while ago. The logo is really small. Milani has great packaging. It's shaped like a flower. But this one, I started to notice, has almost like a gold sheen to it. Or like a shimmer. And I don't like that in a blush. One reason being, because I hope you can see that. You probably can't. But one reason being I'm a more oily person at times, and so I don't like for my blush to add more glow to my face. My natural oils already do that. And another reason is because shimmered products on the face really show your texture. So they'll show your pores, or if you have any blemishes, what you just worked so hard to cover up with foundation and concealer, it's really going to put the spotlight on them. So I don't like that. But however, I did buy a Milani blush. Again, this is powder blush. Blossom Time Rose is the shade, number 11. But I bought another Milani blush that looked more matte, just kind of looking at it, which I didn't know this was a shimmer until I got it home and used it a few times, but it looked more matte just looking at it. I bought it. I love it. It works great. Doesn't have a shimmer in it. So I'm not sure what's up with this. So I would not repurchase this specific one, but I do love the Milani blushes. And the one I have now, I'm using every single day without fail. Is that all of the face products? I believe it is. Awesome. Okay, so that's all the face products. I'm really happy I got through those. Like I said, if you love one of these in particular, feel free to keep purchasing it. I'm not saying, don't use that anymore. It didn't work for me. If it worked for you, you keep on using it. These are my thoughts on the products personally and how they worked for me personally. So with all of that said, I'm going to sign off of this video. I'm going to go ahead and film the part 2 really quickly. But thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe to my channel by actually logging into YouTube. If you click the link from my Facebook, it's not going to have you in your own account, so you can't subscribe to it. But if you search Holly Horn on YouTube, you will find me, and then you can subscribe to my channel and like the videos. If you like it, it lets me know that you're enjoying what I'm putting out there, and it kind of inspires me to continue to make videos like each specific one as I get more likes on one over the other. All right, thanks so much. God bless. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.